Welcome back. Tonight we spotlight an upcoming event that's not just about punches and pride, but about purpose. On the 14th of June, the Oshakati Independence Stadium will host a thrilling sporting spectacle, Harry versus Ninja Boxing Bonanza. The event doubles as a fundraiser to support youth rehabilitation and research into crime prevention in Namibia. Joining us now is the founder of Faith Foundation, Tobias, to share all the details. Dennis, good evening. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Daily Roundup.
No, thank you for having me. How are you?
Now, to start with, Dennis, let's start with the rematch itself. What makes, this fight between Harry and Ninja so significant, especially at this point?
The rematch basically is, once we start saying exactly, it's the throwing of punches due to crime. We have quite been doing the community outreaches in now going to this whole detention centers and gathering the statistics of certain and merit of crimes that are happening in our whole regions. So it's a boy child that we want to really empower in knowing that exactly there's still a chance and a room in sport. That's basically that is the approach.
Share with us a bit more about what the support, what the funds will support, particularly now in terms of the rehabilitation centers and this crime research that you'll be doing.
Yeah, no, we've affiliated, the foundation is affiliated with certain stakeholders, more like the Ministry of Safety and Security. The more we deal under those, the wings of like NAMPO, the Namibian Police Force, and the Correctional Services. Those are the two pillars of strength that we are more focusing on, because the slogan stated very clearly that we are pulling down the walls of crime. So with the Ministry of Safety and Security, now with the NAMPO department themselves, so we have a partnership agreement where we do these community outreaches, and then we will have now the one-on-one sessions, live documentaries that we eventually at the end of the day want to have the documentary on exactly knowing what merits of crime and why are they victims and why did they fall being victims of now them being repeated offenders. So that is now that is the approach behind, because they are always going to be victims of them being repeated offenders, but we wanted to understand more why and how do we need to come in and how do we approach with one another. So that's just with NAMPO. So now with the Ministry of Safety and Security, that is with the NCS, Namibian Correctional Services. When more of the guys are released on parole to go back into the community, we have this center so we can house them on a very temporary basis where they can now be taught on how to reintegrate back into the communities. So because there are certain conditions where the NCS has now put into consideration as well. It's a code of conduct that also hinders them getting employed. So those are some of the key quiet things that we are more looking at, and so definitely just now with the Ministry of Safety and Security.
Well, there's of course also a major entertainment element with performers such as Tate Butte and Ras Shihama. So talk to us about the role that music plays in bringing communities together for a cause such as this.
Yeah, the message get spread through variety type of and kind of approaches. No, we've chosen Tate Butte and Ras Shihama because of the love of music, that the people love his music and what he do. So he is also going to fight. He's also one of the fighting against crime, in order also for him to pass that message through music and through also in the ring, And the last of Ras Shihama, he's our icon, man. He came a long way. So he said, no, why not? Let me come on board. Let me also give that message through the music that I've been doing for quite 40 years now. So he's also in his 60s. So that's just basically the approach. And we appreciate the fact that they are on board, because they are willingly trying just to get that message out there. That's why basically we have them on board.
Just lastly, Dennis, what message do you hope that Namibians will take away from this event, both those attending and those watching from afar?
We want them to come in numbers, because we had planned this event in order for us to raise or just as an awareness because of the land that is available to us in Oshakati, where we are raising that awareness. It's just on us raising funds to establish up this center. So we want them to come on board, because we have a lot to share with them in terms of now how crime deals within our communities and our brothers. So we quite have certain things on our pilot project. They must come in numbers. The fight is for the fight against crime. So we want them on board in order for us to share the value of life and to distract the enemy and the root cause, which is now just crime. So that is our approach. That's why we need them in numbers. They must turn up and they must show up.
Dennis, thank you so much for joining us and all the best for the event.
Welcome. Thank you, Osam, for having me. Appreciate it.
That was the Faith Foundation Trust founder, Dennis Tobias, talking to us about the boxing event that will be taking place on the 14th of June in Oshakati, Harry versus Ninja. It's a rematch that will be happening, so please go out and support in numbers. On that note, we wrap up today's edition of the Daily Roundup. We're back, of course, tomorrow, same time and place. From myself and the team, good night. Thank you for watching.